I would assume. What do you think the biggest learning experiences from these playoffs are for the Pistons so far?
There's a few things. One, obviously, is the defensive side of things. Like, you look at the matchups they've gone with thus far, I feel like the Pistons have kind of learned what defense looks like. Obviously, not the vets, but the younger guys have learned what defense looks like on the grander scale, like in the playoffs. And obviously, there is physicality that's allowed, and again, they're refed differently objectively than most teams are. But at the same time, like Asar, like I feel like he will come away from this series knowing how to guard a lead guard in a playoff series without getting in foul trouble, right? Like this is a huge learning experience for him where, like he came into this series, never have been in this position before, right? Like he found himself guarding Jalen Brunson, who is their lead initiator on almost every damn play. And he plays him tight, but they'll call stuff and he's learning what they're going to call. And I feel like that's going to be huge for him, not only in the regular season, but the next time they're in the playoffs, hopefully next season, they'll have someone in Asar Thompson who already is one of the best defenders in the NBA, but now has had this experience where he knows what he can and can't get away with. And also just the way that teams will, throw their best at him, like Jalen Brunson, every time he goes at him, is trying to initiate contact because that's his best chance at getting a bucket or getting anything productive from a possession where Asar Thompson is guarding him. Jalen Duren, I feel like he'll come away with this, hopefully with a sense of understanding what exactly guarding a big in a playoff series it looks like, because Karl Anthony Towns, like, I think a lot of people were under the impression that, Isaiah Stewart, myself included, Isaiah Stewart would be the Karl Anthony Towns stopper. And, you only got 3/4 of Stu in the first game before, unfortunately, like he couldn't play anymore. And like he battled through it. You could tell, like, even at the start of that game, he was not near like even 70%.
Mm-hmm.
But he played incredible. And I feel like this is a huge thing for Duren, where it's a moment where, like, I feel like he's gonna have to step up, especially game 5. And I thought he has, honestly, like game 5, or I'm sorry, game 4, that third quarter, I thought he was incredible. Obviously he's not a perfect player, and I think people go too hard on him sometimes. But I feel like you can see him in real time picking up not only how to defend with his disadvantages. Like, obviously he still struggles with, guarding the perimeter, but learning how to be impactful on the defensive end while still kind of having his weaknesses allows him to grow, obviously, as the series continues, but moving forward. And hopefully that's something he can build on. And the biggest thing to me is Cade. Cade is learning in real time what being the number one option on a playoff team looks like. And it's different than being the number one option on a pretty good team in the regular season. And even then, that was an experience he only learned this year, because before then, by what is today, April 28th, we're spinning Tankathon every 30 minutes, right? Like it's not a situation that the Pistons have even found themselves remotely near. So to me, I feel like Cade has honestly had his best test. And I feel like that third quarter, again, like I go back to it with Duren and I say I'll go back to it with Cade. That was, in my opinion, the Cade Cunningham that I expect. If they win this series, that's the Cade Cunningham that shows up quarters 1 through 4 of every game. If they don't, and they're back here next year in the playoffs, that's the Cade Cunningham that I expect. Games 1 through 4, games 1 through 7, whatever it may be. Like, to me, this is the worst Cade Cunningham will ever be in a playoff setting, and he's still pretty damn good, right? And he has a lot of responsibility on the offensive end, especially to be basically their engine, right? Kind of similar to Blake in 2018-19. Obviously, much better roster
Mhm.
this team has, but in terms of a half court offense, like there's still a bit of a struggle to kind of get that creation going when Cade isn't the guy initiating it. So I think that shows you like you need that secondary creator. Dennis Schroeder has stepped up huge, but I think like this kind of shows like Jaden Ivey is severely missed, right? Like
Yeah.
severely, because there's been moments where Cade has his scoring lulls and he can't, like he can't really like you can't take the ball out of his hands because you need him to continue to have the ball, whether he's facilitating or scoring. You need the ball in his hands. So there'll be moments where Dennis Schroeder, takes that responsibility. But in game two, perfect example, right? Like that three was huge. But having a Jaden Ivey for this series, I feel like, man, like you can only imagine like what those moments look like when he's there instead.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with Ivy, it's kind of a shame that we got robbed the way we did because they started playing their best basketball in 2025, I believe. And Ivy was coming off just really good games, a game winner in Sacramento, played a really physical game on that West Coast trip in Phoenix and was shooting 40% from three, averaging 17 points a game as a number two option. And I think especially in these half court sets, um, the Knicks probably wouldn't be blitzing Cade as much if Ivy was out there, in my opinion. And because when you kind of looked at it in the beginning of the season, teams were kind of hesitant whether they wanted to double Cade or not because Ivy was out there. And you have to keep a body on Ivy because he's just twitchy, he's fast, he can get into the lane. Obviously, his finishing ability, I think, could improve a little bit, but overall, really good secondary option for Cade Cunningham and the Pistons. I think the only learning experience, and maybe it's something that I've just kind of been talking about a lot, is boxing out. For a team that is pretty good at rebounding, at times it kind of looks like they're all looking at the ball and saying, okay, who's going to rebound that? Like it's not like a collective effort where they're all crashing the glass together, which I know JB kind of told them in like game four, like, we have to do a better job of, rebounding the basketball. Like Knicks in the first quarter, he said they're not beating us, we're beating us because we turned the ball over 8 times. But overall, I think there are a lot of good learning experiences. I do agree with your SAR assessment as well. Like Jalen Brunson, for what it's worth, he's a very good basketball player. I know
Absolutely.
there are some Pistons fans that want to kind of discredit him because he gets to the free throw line a lot. That's not really his fault. He's just really, really good at feeling contact and knowing when to, go for a shot fake. Now, are there times where it's annoying as an opposing, fan or an opposing, maybe a media member watching it? Absolutely. But you can't really fault him. Those are the rules. I mean, James Harden did it years ago. Trey Young is one of the guys in the NBA that does it a lot as well. Jalen Brunson kind of falls under that same category, and they're the skilled guards that feel contact and they get to the free throw line, and there's nothing you can really do to stop them because you look at the box score and these guys got 30 points every game. And in that fourth quarter, him and Cat went nuts. Like even when he came back from that ankle injury, I was just like, is his ankle good? But I mean, he was just hitting shot after shot after shot like that. That fourth quarter was insane by him.